Is it free speech or a matter of public safety? The state Supreme Court is considering Lexington's ban on panhandling. What happened today in the High Court? Just ahead on WKYT News at noon.
Looking outside, still seeing the mixture of sun and clouds. Now, it's still a little bit chilly today, but it gets much better there for the weekend. But do we have any rain chances? We're going to go over that coming up.
Tonight is the night. Big Blue Madness has finally arrived. We'll tell you what you need to know before heading out to Rupp Arena this evening.
This is WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. Welcome in. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. Do you have the right to beg for money on city streets?
It's a question that the state Supreme Court spent the morning hearing. It regards a Lexington case. WKYT's Victor Puente was there. He has a recap of what happened in the High Court in our top story here at noon. Victor?
The arguments made today were ones of public safety versus free speech. The attorneys for the Lexington man at the center of this say the city's ordinance against panhandling is unconstitutional. An attorney from the Department of Public Advocacy and one from the Fayette County Prosecutor's Office each presented their case today to the Kentucky Supreme Court. In December of 2014, Dennis Champion was charged with panhandling in Lexington. He entered a guilty plea, but with the condition he could challenge the legality of the local ordinance. Today, his attorney argued that the ordinance is unjust because it targets content of speech and not where that speech is happening.
You can sell Girl Scout cookies. You can hold up political signs. You can, have a sign that says free puppies. But you cannot hold up a sign that says, help appreciated, God bless you.
But that prosecutor argued the ordinance was put in place because the city was having a problem with beggars and not other types such as fundraisers on the side of the road.
Was traffic impeded? And if so, for how long? A second? 30 seconds? A minute? Did somebody have to jump, did the pedestrian have to jump out of the way at any time? Did somebody have to slam on their brakes?
The Supreme Court is now considering both arguments and should release their decision in the coming weeks. In Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Victor, thank you. And similar citywide bans that have been challenged in federal courts have been found unconstitutional since the U.S. Supreme Court ruled last year that such bans require a compelling government interest.
We have a pretty nice afternoon in the works out there.
It's been a beautiful morning, hasn't it? And so how does the weekend shape up? WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris live at our First Alert Weather Center with an early look at the forecast.
Well, the reason why we have the cloud cover overhead is because of this one reason right here. Look down south of us and back toward the southwest. That's where we're actually getting some rain rolling through Nashville, about to roll through Murfreesboro, coming out of Tennessee, heading our direction. However, don't expect that blob of rain to actually make its way into our region. I do expect a slight chance out of it. There's a possibility down toward the Cumberland area later on this afternoon off into the evening hours. That's your best bet. 59 degrees right now in Moorhead. We'll actually finish off the day in the mid to upper 60s. So here's the look for Keeneland. If you're heading out to Keeneland today, 68 degrees. It'll feel actually pretty nice later on. And then we hit 75 on Saturday. Only the slightest chance at rain. Most of us actually stay dry. We'll throw a 20% chance in there. That goes with Sunday too. So all in all, this is a really good looking forecast. Today's a little cool, don't get me wrong, but it'll feel really nice later on this afternoon. But the weekend looks great. How about off into next week? We actually see the 80s in the forecast and a huge drop of temperatures. I'm going to show you that coming up in a few minutes.
Micah, thank you. 2 men have been indicted on federal charges in connection to several overdoses in Kentucky. Travis Clark of Cincinnati and Matthew Bowman of Moorhead are both accused of distributing carfentanil. Their actions led to 7 overdoses in Rowan County, according to their indictments. Carfentanil is an opioid 10,000 times more powerful than morphine. The overdose charges carry with them a minimum of 20 years in prison. A Laurel County grand jury has indicted a man on several charges, including attempted murder of a police officer. Police say Donald Fox Jr. stole his mother's car and crashed it on Highway 25. When police caught up with him, they say he tried to fight them off. Fox is now facing 15 charges. State police say evidence in a high-profile Western Kentucky murder case has been lost.
Anthony Barber is accused of killing 2-year-old Lainey Wallace last year. And now we're hearing that a shirt that is thought to have belonged to Lainey was likely thrown in the trash. WKYT's Andrea Walker at our live desk now with more on the case. Andrea?
Anthony Barber was arrested for the murder of 2-year-old Lainey Wallace back in May of 2015. Now, since then, he's appeared in the Barron County Courthouse numerous times, but this latest hearing may have been the most revealing.
It was a motion hearing centering around one piece of evidence.
Mickey Mouse t-shirt, size 18M, which was an infant size.
The defense says they're the ones who found the shirt 6 months after the crime. They handed the shirt over to KSP, who has since admitted to losing the shirt. Marcy Adkins was the last person to have it after testing it for DNA. Adkins took the stand to explain how the shirt was misplaced.
I placed the box of evidence right outside of my office space because my office is a clean room, called a clean room, where no biohazards are allowed. We believe that it was picked up by one of our building staff and discarded as trash.
The defense believes this shirt is so important to the case because it's not only tied to Lainey Wallace, they're also accusing her mother, Kelsey Wallace, of being involved in the disposal of the evidence.
We are going to assert, and there will be testimony to the fact that she threw the shirt out the window and that all along she was well aware of what had happened to the child.
The Commonwealth's attorney says the shirt is no longer a factor in the case because all of the required testing was completed before it was lost.
Now, before leaving the stand, Adkins did say that the shirt tested negative for blood, saliva, and semen. A judge will ultimately make his decision about how this loss of evidence will be handled when the group meets back in court in 2 weeks. At the live desk, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
Andrea, thank you. And Anthony Barber is scheduled to stand trial right now on December 6th.
New at noon, 2 people were injured in workplace accidents in Frankfort. It happened at Monoplast, an auto body parts supplier near I-64. The company says the accident involved an overhead crane. One employee was flown to UK hospital with a head injury. Another employee was treated at a local hospital. The company did not say how the 2 employees are doing. We do know that the state will be investigating.
Well, a 90-year-old Kentucky man is safe and sound now after being found 160 miles away from his home.
Lester Stapp went missing from his home in Russell County yesterday. He was found this morning in his car that was stuck in a ditch in Whitesville, which is just east of Owensboro. Police say someone delivering a local newspaper found Stapp. They say Stapp was confused and couldn't tell police how long he'd been there, but police say he was not hurt. Stapp was taken to the hospital to be checked out. Well, if you found $8,000, what would you do?
It's a good question, right? Nicholasville police say a man turned in a purse with that much cash inside. They say a woman accidentally left the purse at Ollie's Bargain Outlet. She told police that she was on her way to pay off a loan at the time. When she came back to get her purse, minutes later, it was gone. But thankfully, the man who found it turned in the purse and the cash inside.
Honesty.
Good deed.
I love it.
Yeah,
yes.
Right. All right, get your blue on. Big Blue Madness is today.
Fans are just hours away from getting their first look at this year's men's and women's basketball teams. WKYT's Lauren Miner has more on what you need to know for today's festivities.
Things are getting set up here inside Rupp Arena. Tonight is the night Kentucky Wildcat fans have been waiting for. Big Blue Madness has finally arrived. The men and women will kick off the start of their season tonight. Doors will open at 5:30 and all the action will begin at 7. Big Blue Madness will feature introductions of both the men's and women's basketball teams, along with practice drills, videos, and more. This year's event will feature an interactive light show where fans can participate just by using their smartphones. All you have to do is download an app. Fans will also get a look at the new renovations inside.
Monday, October the 17th, will be our 40th anniversary of being here in town. So this is the kind of revitalization effort that we've done. Huge technology upgrades, monstrous center hung video screen, bright ribbon boards, it really changes the building, creates a lot of energy.
There have also been changes to security this year. For the first time, fans will have to walk through metal detectors before entering the arena. The arena also changed their bag policy in that bags now will not be able to exceed 12 by 6 by 12. This will be the 12th time Madness has been held here inside Rupp Arena. I did get a sneak peek inside to look at the renovations. I'm not allowed to say a lot, but I can say this. Kentucky Wildcat fans, I promise, will not be disappointed. Reporting in Lexington, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
There's a good hint. All right, and we'll help you count down to tonight's big show. Join us at 5:30 on the CW Lexington. It's Before the Madness with Dave Baker and Christy Thomas, a 90-minute preview of this year's Wildcats. Looking forward to that.
Ooh, that's all I needed to hear.
There you go.
You will not be disappointed.
And we are now just 25 days away from the 2016 presidential election. We'll have the latest campaign news when we come back on WKYT News at noon, Kentucky's #1 midday news. Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. The Trump campaign is promising to release information today that it says should refute claims by women that the GOP nominee sexually assaulted them.
Questions about Trump's behavior towards women have kept his campaign off message for a week, while Hillary Clinton continues to deal with hacked emails from WikiLeaks. Craig Boswell has the latest on the campaign trail.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
It's been a week since sexually charged comments on a 2005 Access Hollywood tape put the Trump campaign on the defensive. Today, after several women accused Trump of unwanted sexual advances, running mate Mike Pence told CBS This Morning the campaign will produce evidence to discredit them.
Just stay tuned. I know that there's more information that's going to be coming out that'll back his claim that this is all categorically false.
The latest poll shows Trump trailing Hillary Clinton by 7 points with less than 4 weeks until Election Day.
While the Trump campaign reacts to bombshells about the Republicans' behavior toward women, Clinton is dealing with the steady drip of hacked emails from inside her campaign.
In one exchange from about 2 years ago, campaign manager Robbie Mook outlined a bid to influence the GOP primary, writing, "Move the Illinois primary out of mid-March where they are currently a lifeline to a moderate Republican." Mook writes that time is tight and they will need the help of Democrats in both chambers of the state legislature, but that the Clintons won't forget what their friends have done for them.
Hello.
Clinton didn't address the emails in an interview she taped with Ellen DeGeneres, but she said she's not taking her lead in the polls for granted.
We've got to work really hard for the next 3.5 weeks because who knows what can happen.
Clinton has a fundraiser today in Seattle. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
Now, this morning, the Miami Herald endorsed Clinton for president. Trump has yet to receive an endorsement from a major newspaper. Well, if the chicken isn't hot enough, maybe the guy advertising it is.
The face of KFC has gotten a lot younger suddenly. The Louisville-based chicken chain has hired Vincent Keitheiser to be the new Colonel Sanders. You may recognize him from his role in Mad Men. Vincent is stepping into the white suit for KFC's newest Hot Colonel ad campaign, showing off its Nashville hot chicken. So we'll see how that goes. Wonder what the old Colonel would have thought.
Oh, well, it's interesting. Who knows?
It is. Keep it here on WKYT News. We have much more coming up in this hour.
A Franklin County business went up in flames last night. We'll hear from someone who worked there in just a few minutes.
A little rain down to the south of us, but is it going to creep into our forecast? We're going to go over that your weekend and this roller coaster ride next week. That's coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Now, already seeing a little rain creep toward Bowling Green, but we're not seeing any fall across the region just yet. So here's the deal. This is going to keep creeping toward us, but it's not a lot. And if we do get anything out of this, it's going to be a very slight chance. Far southern Kentucky, I would say right there in the Cumberland region, that is your best bet to actually get some of this. Anywhere from, I'd say 5 p.m. to about 9 p.m. That's your best bet, but that's still relatively small. Heading out to these Friday night football games, keep that in mind. Other than that, that bulk of the rain really stays in Tennessee and off toward Alabama and Georgia. So for us, we'll stay in the 60s for the most part. Could be a 70-degree reading, but for the most part, yeah, it's going to be a little bit on the cool side, just below average and staying mainly dry. So heading throughout the rest of the afternoon, we'll call it 68. Pretty pleasant conditions once we finally get to that 4 or 5 p.m. time frame. Don't forget haunted houses later on tonight. If you aren't going to those football games or even after the football games. You can knock those out too. Let's talk about some events going on. Court days now through Monday. Really good weather now through Monday. There's really not a good chance of rain whatsoever. It goes from Mount Sterling and Preston. So right there in Montgomery County and Bath County, looking pretty good right there in the low to mid 70s. Only slight chance of rain there on Saturday. Other than that, it looks good and dry. Corn mazes, haunted houses. We have some people here from Junction City. The Houstonville Haunted House there in Junction City is here today, having a little fun there on Twitter. You want to check my Twitter account out. I got Lauren Miner pretty good with some of the guys up there in the green room. Oktoberfest going on in Harrisburg tomorrow, 73 degrees. Looks really good. I don't see much of a chance of rain, very slight, about 10-20%, and that's it. The Bourbon Chase going on today, off into the night, and in towards your Saturday. It actually finishes off downtown. My wife did this last year, and she had a blast doing it, but she did say that sometimes those cars get a little bit close going throughout the nighttime hours because runners are still going through the night. Roughly 4,000 of them, 200-mile race on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. That's right there in central Kentucky. Small chance of rain later on this evening for you guys if you are running it. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, it's dry all the way through. It's going to be a little cool overnight, right around 50 degrees. Then we head towards your Sunday, and we're at 78. Next week, guys, we're in the 80s. 83 on Wednesday, or Tuesday, rather. Big front comes blowing on through, knocks that down. About 20 to 25 degrees, 58 there on Thursday. Big drop, big upswing, and then big downswing of temperatures, all in 48 hours.
That's the day you need to run to stay warm, right?
It, just to stay warm. You're
all
right
right.
about that.
Well, we're ready for all of this, ups and downs over the next few days. Thank you, Micah. We're coming right back. A classic in the Major League playoffs.
And for Wildcat fans, basketball season officially begins tonight. Dave Baker has sports next.
And the stock's often interesting on Friday, and here's what's going on. The major market indicators are up at midday.
The blue carpet is officially rolled out tonight as Cats tip things off with Big Blue Madness. Yesterday it was media day, and to use a Bill Bryant political term, John Calipari doubled down on this being a player's first program.
If my team won a national title and no one got drafted, I'd be disappointed. Oh, that'll just rifle through our state. I would be disappointed. The question is, would I be totally disappointed?
Just to let you clarify that.
Now you're mincing words. You're putting words. Look, I would enjoy the fact that I had a team that won a national title, but I would be disappointed that none of the kids got drafted, because that's not how it's supposed to work.
So many of those guys coming back tonight. It's Big Blue Madness tonight, and we'll get you set at 5:30 here on the CW Lexington. Before the madness, Christy Thomas join me, 90-minute preview of this year's Wildcats. Action from out on the blue carpet, and I'll get you ready for madness. 5:30 to 7 tonight on the CW Lexington. How about Game 5 of the National League Championship Series last night in Washington? Dodgers holding a 1-run lead tonight. Look who comes out of the bullpen. It's starter extraordinaire Clayton Kershaw. And what does he do? First guy he faces, he gets Daniel Murphy, the best hitter in October the last 2 years, to fly out for the second out. And then Kershaw strikes out Wilmer Defoe to end it. Dodgers win it 4-3. They win the series 3-2. The last time Kershaw got a save was in 2006 when he was in the rookie league in Florida. The guy who was his catcher was the Dodgers relief pitcher who he replaced last night. So it'll be the Cubs and the Dodgers. That begins tomorrow in Chicago. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, former UK offensive lineman Max Godby and Matt Smith. They'll be sitting in for Dick Gabriel. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Beginning at 4 this afternoon, we'll be reporting live from down at Rupp Arena, the side of Big Blue Madness. That and much more coming up throughout the day, guys. But for now, that's a look at sports on this Friday. Have a great weekend.
All right, we'll look for that special from you at 5:30. Christy Thomas and Dave down there.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And there's more to come in our next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
A group of people in Jackson County are working to gather donations to bring to the flood victims in North Carolina. We'll have more about how you can help. That's ahead. Plus,
I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Coming up at 12:30, I'm in Frankfort, where a local business went up in flames yesterday. We'll have that story coming up.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $15 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $122 million.